Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesdays with Evolve Digital. Today we're going to be talking about websites. But first, what is Evolve Digital? Evolve Digital is your one source for everything web management, whether it be ads, SEO, marketing, whether it be websites, whether it be custom web apps, anything, you name it, we can build it for you. So today we're going to be talking about custom websites, and in particular, the two types of people it takes to build a custom website. We're talking about the web developers, that's us by the way, and we're talking about designers, people that are crucial to a website's performance. The designer people are people who can develop a brand identity and who are very artsy, which means they understand how to build a beautiful looking website that communicates effectively what your brand is. Over here at the developer side, we're the type of people who are analytical. We're looking at performance, we're looking at how to build this site as best as possible and something that will carry you on into the future. So let's talk about an issue at play here. So web designers, they're typically great for doing design things, but they're not always great at understanding the web technologies at play. And that's where the web developer comes in. So both are very vital. So for example, let's say you want a button on your site. Well, the web designer is going to say, hey, you need a red, a green, and a blue button. However, web designers don't know how to code websites from the ground up. So they're going to be having to resort to pre-built tools. Pre-built tools, there's nothing wrong with them, but here's the issue at play. You're going to have one red button, but that one red button is also going to need all kinds of different scenarios for every single type of website that could possibly exist. So maybe your button needs to be a square button. I don't know, red and a half blue button. So the problem is web designers are constricted to using tools to build the site rather than using the technologies themselves to build your website. And so what ends up happening is you end up with a cascading amount of extra stuff versus here, we've kept it very simple. And now you could expand this over to, I don't know, let's say navigation bars. Navigation menu, you know, it usually looks like this. You've got your logo and you have some links. And over here, they're going to need to provide you, because again, they're using an out-of-the-box tool. This out-of-the-box tool needs to work for every single website possible on Earth to some extent. And so you're constricted to whatever design that these design tools give you. So you'll have to have your logo here. You can't have it anywhere else. You'll have all your site links, and you might have, I don't know, a drop down here. But then again, because they're doing everything for every single site, you have a whole bunch more. And this just goes on and on. So we talked about the issue. Now let's talk about the why. So let's pretend websites are a swing set. Just stick with me here. So you have a beautiful swing set that you have in your mind. So the issue here is the fact that you're going to want a swing set. You're going to want to go from point A, let's say it's your home. Fantastic. Looks more like a doghouse. Anyway, you're going to want to go from home and you're going to want to go to the store and you're going to want to pick up all your swing set supplies and boom, you're done. All the parts are there. There's nothing extra. You just have your swing set. That's it. But now we're going to talk about websites that designers create using pre-built tools, which is the common industry standard here, at least in Canada. And I've seen this time and time again. You want a swing set and you're at home. So you're going to want a swing set. You're going to want to go to the store, grab that swing set, come back, have the swing set, you're done. Now the problem with this is these websites are loading in all this extra tools, all this extra stuff. So essentially in the background, even though all you're getting is a swing set at the end of the day, you're going to be getting the whole backyard. You're going to be getting a doghouse, you're going to be getting a fire pit, you're going to be getting a bouncy castle, I don't know, you name it. So what ends up happening is your request, and this is coming back down to kind of website stuff, your request for that swing set is going to be broken up into many, many things. So you're going to have to go to not only the store, you're going to have to go to a lumberyard, you're going to have to go to a stonemason, you're going to have to go all over the place, okay? Like literally the request just keeps going and going and going. And on top of that, And on top of that, all of that extra stuff is going to take time. But the problem with websites is you just see what you get. So all in the background, you have an entire backyard. But in reality, you've just asked for a swing set, and that's all you're seeing is the swing set. Now that we understand the issue at play here and the why, let's talk about the compounding factors at play. So you have about 1,000 times more stuff that you need to load, that you need to process, that you need to at least introduce every time you load a website. So you have 1,000 times more things versus over here, let's say your page only, or your swing set in this case, requires only about 20 materials. So you have 20 times the amount of things that you need to do. And so you kind of can start to see the problem here. Very small versus very large. So in this analogy, the whole website is loading, but it's giving you a backyard, it's giving you a doghouse, it's giving you a fire pit. If one of those breaks, the whole thing breaks. And here's the cherry on top. At the end of the day, you're getting 20 items as a deliverable. And over here, you're getting 20 items as a deliverable. That is what the website actually needs to load. But yet, it's got all this extra stuff to prop up. Now I'm going to talk about a little anecdote about the last 2 weeks that here at Evolve Digital that we've experienced this issue a lot. So a lot of small business owners have been coming to us with this exact problem. They have sites that are full of bloat, full of bugs, and full of bad security risks. And what ends up happening with these pre-built sites is that they just start to break down, they are slow, and then the small business owner doesn't know it at the time when they switch their site, but then 2 years goes down the road and all of a sudden their SEO scores, that's how Google ranks your site starts to drop in the rankings. Before you know it, you're on the second page of Google. Why is this? So we're going to talk about the fourth power that be, and that is Google. So Google is going to rank sites based off of speed and backlinks. While we're not going to be talking about backlinks today, the other half of the equation that a lot of small business owners don't know is the speed and layout of a site. So let's say in Chilliwack, there's 2 swing set making companies and they're competing. One site was created using a designer and a developer, meaning they have a beautiful looking site and it's functional. So here's company A, okay? Company B over here, they had their site developed only by a web designer who used pre-built tools to try get the job done. The issue here is the fact that Google's going to look at these sites. Google's going to notice A is going to load in no time flat. It's going to be very performant, very fast, and doesn't need to load in all that extra stuff. Company B was using pre-built themes and plugins full of bugs, bloat, and bad security risks. Their site is going to take much longer to load. Their site's going to take way longer than Company A's site. So when Google has a look at these 2 sites, it's going to pick the one with the least amount of page load times. You want lesser to be better. This was the issue that some of my clients were having, right? They would come to me and be like, why is my SEO ranking so poorly? And I do a performance report and realize that their site was scoring sometimes 34%. And that's just not doable. And Google will immediately put your competitors always higher than you. Now let's talk about the last issue. This issue has to do with security. So nothing in life is ever fully secure, is kind of the saying in the computer world anyway. But the issue here is the fact that you have all these plugins from before, and all those plugins are readily available online, meaning everyone has access to them. Everyone's always using these tools. They're very, very popular. And so because of that, millions of sites across the world use these plugins and themes. What ends up happening is developers will put their code online for everyone to read, which isn't the end of the world. But when you can see exactly how a program is going to play out, there is an area of always concern. It just takes someone smart enough to eventually find the issue, and then they can exploit it. And so that is an issue with these custom themes. It's open source code. There's nothing wrong with open source code. Open source is actually great. But in this scenario, your site, if it lasts 10 years, there's a very good chance that one of the plugins that was used, one of the 1,000 plugins used on the site, is going to have a chink in the armor that someone's going to find and someone's going to exploit. We're just trying to get rid of as much as we can and boil everything down into a keep it simple strategy where you have just what you need, nothing more. And now number 6. 6 is peace and harmony. So what am I talking about? Well, what I'm saying is this entire video, I'm not bashing the web designer. The web designer has great skills that are needed to make a website look great and honestly have people come back for more. If you're just looking for a very quick, easy fix and you have a low budget, yeah, designers are your best bet. But if you have a little bit more budget or you're being very conscientious about where your business is going to grow, you're going to want a site that's developed by developers and designers. So the way that this looks is the designer will create beautiful designs for your site. The designer will then give those designs to the developer, who will be able to actually make them exactly how it needs to be. No extra fluff, no extra stuff, just exactly how the site should be. Then the developer will then create the site and it will be perfect. Right now, we're screaming busy because this is clearly an issue and a lot of small business owners are starting to key into this idea. And so because of this, we're currently booking into about May, June, July area. So if you have a site that you're thinking about starting or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you and loop in your designer or another web designer into the process to make sure that you have a performant, beautiful looking website. That's it for Whiteboard Wednesday. Join us next Wednesday for another whiteboard session.